Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Grow with Google, Go Global with Google's Market Finder Part 1. So in today's workshop, we'll be covering 3 topics. Number 1, the benefits of exporting. Number 2, introducing Google Market Finder. And number 3, how to use the tool to explore other markets. I'm Ada Hu, and the CEO and co-founder of NU Media, with full-service digital marketing agency headquartered here in New York City. Founded in 2019, NU Media has proudly served over 500 small businesses nationwide. And I'm honored to introduce our trainer today, Amanda Hammond. Amanda is the co-founder and CEO of Core Elevation Inc., leadership development consulting firm focused on leveraging the recruitment and retention of next generation talent for higher levels of retention, productivity, and profitability. Nicknamed the Millennials Translator when she barnstormed North America, delivering over 800 keynote speeches in 5 years to over 1 million charged up millennial and Generation Zs ready to take on the business world. Amanda's deep understanding and work in the trenches with millennials and Generation Zs led corporate executives and global leaders to pursue her as the thought leader in helping them connect to the very audience they were struggling to understand and retain. Her global clients include Fortune 500 companies such as Cisco, ADP, Valvoline, and Emerson, as well as leading global industry associations such as the Global Association of Association Executives, Women Business Enterprise Network Council, and the European Vending Association. Amanda shares her expertise and experiences on her popular business podcast, Next Generation Rockstars, and as co-host of the forthcoming podcast, Wind Down Wednesdays, a midweek discussion on diversity, inclusion, intersectionality, and equality. Additionally, Amanda sits on multiple boards focused on diversity and inclusion, such as the US Penn, Asian American Chamber of Commerce, Southeast Region, the Women Business Enterprise Network Council, Next Gen Board, and the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Foundation of Georgia. Let's welcome Amanda.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm super excited to be here with everybody. Ada and I, before we got on today, discovered we have a huge connection between the two of us that we didn't know until today. So I am looking forward to sharing knowledge with Ada, but also with all of you. So let's jump in, and I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Awesome.
Let's see what we've got here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
You can?
Yeah, I can see it.
Rachel, can you see it too?
Yep, we got it.
Okay. All right, perfect. For some reason, I'm not saying it. That's weird. Okay, well, let's just go for it. There you go. All right, is it on the main screen that you can see? Perfect. All right, so we are here to find all about this wonderful tool. Grow with Google, if you guys aren't familiar with what they do, they have a tremendous amount of free tools out there for small business owners, for entrepreneurs, for want to be entrepreneurs. And we're going to be exploring one of them today. Now, again, this is free tools, free training, and free events. And today we're going to be learning about the Market Finder, which is Google's free tool to identify new potential markets, discover helpful operational information, and what we all need to know, start selling to customers at home, but also around the world. All right, so if you're ready, I'm ready to go. So this is the agenda for today. Pretty simple. I do want to remind everybody this is a 2-part series, so you're going to have to come on back next week and check out the rest of this. But for this entire workshop, we're going to be going over the benefits of exporting, how Google Market Finder actually works, including how it can help you explore markets, plan your operations, and advertise your business to a global audience. After we go through all of that information, and trust me when I tell you it's a lot, we're going to finish with a recap and as well as some additional resources. So I hope you got a pen and paper ready because we're going to go through some really good information here. So first of all, let's start with something pretty basic. Everything about this particular presentation, I want you to know is for beginners, for all of us. So we're going to start from square one and we're going to build from there. So what are some of the reasons for you to consider exporting? Well, today, nearly 5 billion people around the world are online. So that means there are opportunities to find and engage with new customers, and that opportunity is practically limitless. Now, what's more is that customers aren't as concerned as you might think they would be about where a customer is based, or I'm sorry, where a business is based. Really, as long as you're doing what you say that you're going to do, they're going to be happy with the product or service that they receive. Now, I don't know about any of you, but have any of you guys ever used the website booking.com? I know that I travel a good bit and I use it frequently. What I didn't know is that booking.com is actually based in the Netherlands. There was a survey recently that was done that found that 96% of people didn't know that booking.com was actually from the Netherlands. I was one of that 96%. And of those people, 90% of them said that they didn't care whether or not where booking.com was, because they were getting that service that they were looking for. So with an online business, you naturally have the ability to expand globally, and it's quicker and easier than ever before. I think as we all saw in 2020. So a little bit more information. Simply put, exporting can strengthen your business. Exploring new markets puts you in the position to attract new customers, which can lead to business growth and more revenue, which I think is something that we all want as business owners. So in addition to that, small business exports actually contribute significantly to the US economy. Now, according to the US Chamber of Commerce, exports from the US generated $541 billion. That's billion with a B in 2017. That number has only increased significantly. But what's more important, especially now as we're thinking about a labor shortage, is that this industry in 2017 supported more than 6 million jobs. I'd be willing to bet that that is going to increase. So here's something that I didn't know that I learned from Google, which we're all learning from Google every day, is that according to the US Small Business Administration, 96% of the world's consumers live outside of the United States. That's crazy to think about. So think about that for just a second. 96% of the world's consumers live outside the US. That is tremendous potential for growth if you expand into even a few markets globally. So here's a few benefits for exporting. Global markets actually open up access to resources, such as a new base of customers, or they also have the potential to give you a competitive advantage over your domestic competitors. Pretty cool. Now, this one is something that is a huge, if you look on the left side of the screen, new talent pools. Opening up and exporting around the world actually gives you access to multinational talent pools. And that is something that we're all fighting right now, is this national labor shortage. Also, on the other side of the screen, some countries, depending on where you are exporting to, actually offer incentives for businesses that invest. So that's a pretty cool incentive. It used to be that it took years to build your business up to the point where you could go global. You didn't do it just overnight. But if you're a small company in an unusual circumstance or unusual sector, you don't have to be put off. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be worried. 2 out of 5 companies with fewer than 10 employees, so a company like mine, are already doing this. with at least one high growth market. 2 out of 5, think about that. 2 out of 5 small companies with less than 10 employees are already doing this. But I also want you to think about this. The giants like Netflix, Uber, Airbnb, Tinder, Spotify, they all took these same first steps that I'm going to walk you through today. Selling overseas can help your business in a variety of ways, including increasing profits, competitiveness, and sparking innovation. Selling globally can boost your business profile both at home, but also abroad. And as you expand into new markets, you create a larger commercial footprint. So let's take a look at this image on the screen. Think about this. At the top, you've got the manufacturer. They're in one part of the world. Below them is the distributor, the person who's getting the products out around the world. And then on the other side, in a completely different continent, is the actual buyer. And this is exactly what can happen for you. So I would love to hear from anybody in the audience. I would love to hear kind of what you're thinking. I want to take a moment and let's just pause. I threw a lot of data at you, but let's think, how can your business benefit by exporting? Anybody want to throw it into the chat? Ada, can you help me out?
Yes, yeah, if anyone has any thoughts or questions, you could just throw them in the chat and I'll read them for you, Amanda.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, this is very interesting because I'm in marketing. I actually export some of my services. Yeah, so.
Did you know about this tool, the Market Finder tool?
No. It's my first time. I'm learning a lot. Super helpful. Yeah,
see,
but I do work. Yeah, I do work with clients overseas, providing services.
Yeah, absolutely. I also work with clients overseas providing services, and I had no idea that this was available. That's the wonderful thing about Google offering these products for free. Yeah. All right, do we have any comments, or do we have a quiet audience today?
Quiet. I don't see anything.
Well, that's okay. I understand sometimes it can be a little intimidating to put yourself out there, and that is totally cool. What I do want everybody to do that's watching this now live or in the future is to really sit down and answer these questions. How would your business benefit by exporting? And what products and services can you offer? Ada and I talked about, that we do this. What could you offer the world? And also, what kind of questions do you have? And that's, these are some basic things. So these are things that can help us move forward. All right. So I'm guessing you're asking, I gave you all this data, $541 billion in exports. There's the opportunities around the world to open up, to give you some competitive advantages, to innovate, all those things to increase your revenue and profitability. But what is this Market Finder? So this is a free tool, again, that is offered by Google that can help you answer many, many of the questions, or actually all of the questions that were on the last slide. Market Finder uses details from your business website, the website you have today, and it actually recommends where consumers are likely to buy your products based on search data. And who has more search data globally than Google? Nobody. So then you get to use that information to get an insight into the recommended markets, which can help you create a marketing strategy to reach customers in your target locations. The tool also offers advice on operations, such as how to take payment. That's important in a new market. Also about shipping, logistics, customs, licensing, and any other legal considerations for you. And this is all free, which is amazing to me. It blows my mind, frankly. All right. I think we are up to the video, Rachel.
Google's free Market Finder tool can help you find global markets to export your products to. Market Finder uses Google's unique data insights to help businesses make informed decisions about international growth in a matter of seconds. John has founded a juice store. Market Finder can help John to discover potential export markets, develop a marketing strategy, and understand the operations of every step. John gets started by entering his website URL. Market Finder scans the website and identifies relevant categories for John's markets based on the products that he can export. Combining the product categories with Google's unique data insights and search volume metrics, Market Finder selects the 3 markets with the highest export potential for John's business. John creates and completes his profile, selecting and confirming the key export markets in order to delve deeper into the metrics and logistics of each one. John explores the market insights to discover key information about each market, such as the country, economic, and online profile. Using Market Finder, John can easily compare each potential market to his current one. The insights can show how much people earn on average and the number of monthly searches for juices, as well as the ease of doing business in that market and the logistics of exporting. This information allows John to benchmark each market against his existing one and plan his market export strategy. John has analysed the potential new markets for JuiceBiz and now wants to plan his operations. John uses Market Finder to understand which payment method is best for the German market and search for a payment provider that can help him export to this market. After setting up his operations, John wants to discover how to reach the right audience in Germany. He uses Market Finder to create an international marketing strategy to support his advertising and measure his success abroad. Guides, articles, and case studies tailored to his business objectives are at his disposal, and John can learn about popular keywords with data sourced from Google Trends. Just one of the useful tools and services available to him. With the help of Market Finder, John can create great campaigns for his new market. In response to COVID-19, we made a global COVID-19 hub to help businesses like John's optimize their performance. This hub has various resources, including consumer and demand insights, operations best practices, daily updated market trade measures from International Trade Center market analysis tools, and more. All the information that John needs to export successfully is now in one place. Google Market Finder. No matter what you sell or where you sell it, find new customers abroad and take your business further. Get started today.
All right. Can everybody, are we back to seeing my screen now? All right.
No, I don't.
No. All right.
I think I gotta go back to share screen.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Can you see my screen with the notes or without the notes?
With the notes.
Uh-oh.
But that's
Can't see my
fine.
cheat sheet, everybody.
I think it's okay because you were presenting the same in the
Yeah.
same format
Yeah.
before. Oh,
Alright.
yeah, there you go.
All right. Can you see? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think
Cool.
the presenter.
Come on. It doesn't want to do. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Still see my notes, don't you? Well, I'm not a genius. All right. So here is an example. I love this example. My son actually had one of these little bikes and they are really cool and exciting. Okay, so Strider Sports is actually a great example of what exporting can do for your business. This company was founded by a dad, Ryan McFarland. He built a modified bicycle for his toddler, and this actually became known as the Strider, but it's a pedal-less. You can see in this picture of this little boy, it's pedal-less, and it's really to develop balance before they actually get ready to be on a bike. And it's phenomenal for toddlers and those younger kids. And this bike actually received a lot of interest from other parents. So Ryan was like, I have got this golden idea. So he launched this company, Strider Sports, in 2007. But 2 years later, he was able to actually start exporting his products to Japan. Now, today, Japan is Strider's largest international market. And Strider used some wonderful tools that are also free, Google Analytics, Google Ads, well, not as much, and as well as YouTube. And they use that to really expand outside of the US. So Google Ads, according to Mr. McFarland, actually drives 30% of the company's online traffic. And its YouTube videos have generated 10 million views. 10 million, that's crazy. But the wonderful thing is that, according to Ryan, the beauty of the internet is that even from the most remote locations, you can still be connected to the whole world. So the image that you're seeing of this little boy, he is adorable and he looks like he is loving this bike. All right, so there are 3 really easy steps. I say easy, but 3 pretty basic steps to exporting. All right, the first one is you've got to decide. Once you've decided that you're going to export, then you have to determine where is the best market for you. So a recent study done by Google actually found that 70% of subject matter experts, so you and I, said that they really didn't have the skills needed to find the best overseas markets. And I got to be honest with you, that is intimidating. It's daunting, really. The next step to doing this is that you need to plan your operations. So if you're like 61% of all exporters, you'd like to have some specific knowledge and support about how to do that successfully. And then finally, you need a solid marketing strategy that can help you scale your brand and expand across your borders. So in this section, we're going to start diving into how to use the 3 of these steps, and we're going to use that with the Market Finder tool so that you can be successful. All right. So as we mentioned in the example before, the Strider Sports, the pedal-less bike, they use a lot of digital tools to support their export plan. So in this next section, we're going to discuss some of the specific tools to get you there. So here's the direct website to go there. So it's g.co/Market Finder. And that'll take you there. If you can't remember the g.co/Market Finder, just type in Market Finder, Google Market Finder, and you definitely will get there. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we're going to take you through a demo of how to do this. But I'm going to give you an example. There's going to be some screenshots of examples here. You're welcome to follow along. You're welcome to type in. You're welcome to go to Market Finder while you're listening to me and type in your own business and follow along with how we do this, or you can do it later as well. All right, so let's get started. All right, so once you've gotten over to the Market Finder, it's pretty simple. Google likes to make things just as simple as possible. You simply type in your web address into the search bar. So on this particular slide, you can see there's a large bar in the middle. You really can't miss it. You just type in your website and you hit continue. And from there, once you hit continue, Google and Market Finder are going to start searching and looking through your website to help it determine what are the best markets for you to consider. All right. So here we've typed in, obviously, Strider bikes, and we're going to continue on to the next step. So in this example, again, Strider Bikes, we have some categories. So take a look at the categories. They are, again, a reflection of the information that Google was able to pull from your website. But they also are looking at popular online sources, or I'm sorry, online searches that Google is getting every single day from around the world. And they're matching it up with what's being seen on your website. So Market Finder will actually take this information and they will use it to lead you to your potential markets. Now on here, you can actually, do you see the small little X's? So on Strider Bikes example, you see on right under the website name, there's cycling, kids, bikes and trikes, ride-on toys, or gifts. You can X out or delete any of those categories. You can actually add additional categories if you so choose. This tool is really very easy and it makes it very possible for you to really refine your search. All right, so when you're ready, you can go ahead and confirm your categories. Didn't I tell you this was super easy? I mean, when I started going through this, I couldn't believe how simple and easy this was to use. So next up, the Market Finder is going to ask you where you're actually interested in selling. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to sell? Either within the US or globally. Now let's assume for today's purposes that we're going to look at globally. And we'll select that for today. And immediately Google's going to come up with a list of markets, 3 markets that are potential export options for you. So in this screenshot, you'll see that Germany, the United Kingdom, and France each have been recommended based on searches made in those countries that align with what's on your website. So if you hover over each of the markets, if you hover over each of the markets, you'll actually be able to bring up additional information about each of them, why the criteria, and why actually Google thought that this might be a good match for you. You'll also be able to find out how much advertisers are paying in cost per click and how friendly the market is to expanding businesses. Also, very important, how likely consumers are in this market to actually have disposable income to spend on products and services. So those are all really important information, things that we wouldn't necessarily know without Google. All right, if we go to the next screen, at this point, you're going to have to actually connect your Google account to go further into the Market Finder. So the image on the slide is actually showing the heading complete your profile. And the box here has been obviously filled in with Strider Executive and the URL striderbikes.com. And then of course, a big blue button that says sign up with Google. So one other thing that I would like to point out is that it also gives you the option to continue to receive relevant updates and other information from Google. That's your choice whether you want to do that or not, but it may be a good thing to do, especially if you're getting started. So after you've done this, after you have completed and reviewed everything, once again, let's click to get going. All right, so you do have to sign in to your Google account. If you don't have one, you need to create one here. But you will be able to take a closer look at this point at the markets that have been suggested for you. So again, on the screen here, there were the suggested markets of Germany, the United Kingdom, and France. So this, because the world is quite broad, this actually just narrows it down to 3. You're very welcome to actually delete some of those if you don't feel that you would do well in Germany, all of those good things. All right, but we're going to assume from here that we are going to go with the short list that Google provided us, which again was Germany, the United Kingdom, and France. And from now on, all of the content that you see is going to be specifically related to these countries. That's why it's really important at this point, as you're selecting your potential markets, that you make a decision onto the three countries that you would like to focus on, because all of the information from here on out will be very specific to those. All right, we are just chugging along, you guys. So the first thing, once you have actually selected these are your countries that you are going to go after, you get to dive deeper into them. So these three potential markets that you've selected, each of them will give you on this screen a country profile. So this is information that you and I could easily gather. It's things like, what do they speak? What are the demographics? What is the currency there? And they're going to actually compare it to the US. So you can actually have a pretty good, quick idea about, how these will relate. So on this slide, you can actually see the country profile, how it's selected, all of that good information that you really want and you see. So let's look at this. The United States, 329 million people. Germany, only 83 million, which surprises me. I don't know if that's just me or you. And then 66.9 for the United Kingdom. So these are really good information that you need to have as you move forward. Now, these are things that we could all find out, but Google lays it out pretty easily for you. I will make a little side note here. Out of this list on the screen on the left-hand side, population, languages, currency, my favorite is the corruption perception index. That's interesting, but we go on. All right, so for the next screen, we are looking at economic profiles. So this is really things like your gross domestic product, the GDP per capita, purchasing power, all of those good things. And again, we're going to compare it against the US for comparison purposes. All right. If anybody has any questions as we're going, I'd love for you to pop in and just ask. So on this particular on this particular slide, we have our online behavior. What is the online behavior like in these particular markets? What's the percentage of users that use the internet? How many total internet searches are there per month? And also a breakdown of Android versus iOS users. Phenomenal information and things that you definitely want and need to know as you're building out a marketing campaign. You'll also see recommended bids for Google Ads. Now, if you've never used cost per click for keywords in a marketing of your business, it is a completely very interesting world as far as marketing your business, but they'll actually help you in this tool use chosen categories. So a low cost per click means that there's a lower number of bidders and less competition. So on this particular slide, you have an online profile that is highlighted. You'll see up there at the top, which reveals a bar graph comparing monthly searches across the categories among the US, Germany, the United Kingdom, and of course, France. So if we move on, since you're more than likely going to be doing business with consumers online in these particular markets versus building out a store there locally, you'll want to know how they actually use the internet to purchase products. That would be incredibly important, I would think. But this information on this particular slide actually gives you a deeper look at their purchase behavior. What is it telling you? So what devices people are using? Are they using desktops? Are they using tablets? Are they using their smartphones? Do they use the internet to compare prices, to read reviews, or are they just getting background information before they actually go into a store, a brick and mortar store, to make a purchase? And of course, what percentage of the population actually makes online purchases weekly? That's a key element there. So now we're going to start getting into some really more interesting information as we close out today. So we're going to be talking, this one is about some logistics. You're going to get some insights into logistics as you start to sell into these markets. This is going to give you an idea of the costs that you might incur and the time it's going to take you to deal with regulatory issues. So compliance, customs, transit, all of those really fun things that we've been hearing a lot about as you do business across the border. So once again, you're going to see all of these various countries compared to the US against your potential markets. So on this slide, if you'll take a look, the logistics tab obviously is highlighted at the top, and we're going to look across the bottom at how the comparison of trading across the borders, the ranking of the data. So I believe that that is actually going to wrap us up for today's portion. We have a second portion next week.
Yes, thank you, Amanda.